Hey guys, what's up? Here I am in my humble little abode, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about Bitcoin whales and how I believe they are, it's very likely at least, that they are going to literally crush the world. Okay, maybe that's a bit hyperbolic, okay? Just a bit. But I think essentially what's going to happen, and what already is happening really, is tremendous, okay? A gargantuan, massive amounts of time, resources, and energy are going to go into the Bitcoin ecosystem, let's say, and all of that time and energy is going to be wasted. Why? Because Bitcoin is nothing. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of everybody's time who's involved with it. And so we know that there's Bitcoin whales that control huge amounts of the Bitcoin market, right? And I think that they already are controlling a pretty fair share of the world's resources, let's say. The Bitcoin mines consume, I'm not sure exactly how much, but we know they consume huge amounts of electricity. And this is electricity that could otherwise be used for fuel, for making a car move or turning on a light, but it's being wasted on these stupid machines. It could be used for AI, which could be used, to generate cures for cancer or whatever. But no, we literally spend so much resources, let's say, money too, but money is just another resource, right? We spend so much money on these Bitcoin mining operations, and they produce absolutely nothing. Now, I know you Bitcoin fanatics are going to say, well, they produce, the blockchain, and the blockchain has real value. And I would argue that it doesn't, at least not yet. Okay, maybe you guys are right. I don't know anything, okay? I'm not pretending, I don't want to pretend to know anything. But at least up until this point, it doesn't seem that Bitcoin has been used the way it was intended to be used. Okay, I can't go to my local store and buy something with Bitcoin. If I even try, they'll laugh at me. It's not generally accepted as a currency. Okay, I know you can buy a few things online here and there, and we know about the Silk Road. You could buy drugs on the Silk Road with it, okay? But generally speaking, it's not used as a currency. It's used as a speculative investment, okay? And as I said, society is giving so much time and energy and money and resources to Bitcoin, and it's swallowing up so much productive capacity of the world, so much productive capacity of our resources, and so much productive capacity of time, human time, like human resources. So yeah, and I just think it's going to get worse. I think more people are going to get sucked into Bitcoin, and they're going to put their money into it, their time into it. They're going to set up more massive Bitcoin mining operations, which is going to use more electricity, which otherwise could have been used for more productive purposes. And like as I said, this is going to crush the world because energy is being diverted into the wrong place. And when you divert energy into the wrong place, whether it's in your own life or in economics, you're going to have unbelievably detrimental downstream effects. And so that's what I think is going to happen. Like I said, I don't know, and I don't pretend to know anything. I think the world is too complicated for us to know anything. But this is what I see. This is what I believe. And this is coming from somebody who used to believe deeply in Bitcoin. I used to believe that Bitcoin was the savior of mankind, sent here from above to save us. But no, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's creating a new masterclass of like a new ruling elite who are just as corrupt as the old ruling elite because Bitcoin has rewarded people who got in early, okay, and it is penalizing people who haven't gotten in yet. So if you're late to the Bitcoin party, you are going to be penalized heavily, especially if Bitcoin is actually someday going to be used as a currency, which I don't think it will. But even if, let's say it does, let's say it becomes globally accepted as a currency, you can pay for everything in the marketplace with Bitcoin, including oil, and so like it replaces the petrodollar. Even in that case, okay, it will be unbelievably corrupt because we will, like as I said, we will have a new ruling elite, and this new ruling elite will be the ones who were in Bitcoin early. And what do we call that? What do we call a system that rewards people who get in early? We call that a pyramid scheme, right? So yeah, this is just sad. This is just sad, and I think I've explained in another video where I believe that to be free, everything needs to be free. Okay? If you want to be free as a human being, everything in the marketplace needs to be free. And now, so like some people, talk about free markets, right? But they're not actually free markets. You actually have to pay, right? And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe money is introduced by middlemen who want to extract. They want to extract resources without having to do any real work. This is what I see. I could be wrong. I don't know. So, as I said, we can't be free until everything is free. Until we have an actual free market where everything is freely and consensually exchanged between people and groups. Okay, so. And I'm not saying you can just go to the market and grab anything you want. No. Just like the same as you can't just go, this is maybe a bit graphic, but you can't just go and rape a woman. You have to get her consent. It'd be the same in a market. You have to get consent for taking something. But once the consent is given, it's given to you free. There's no exchange of, dollars or gold or silver or whatever. And I believe this would reduce friction drastically because a barter system is has so much friction because you have to have what the other person wants. A money system is a little bit less friction because you have to have something that everybody wants. But if you don't have that thing that everybody wants, money, then you're fucked. And it's very hard to start from the bottom and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like the Republican side of politics says. And then and then if Bitcoin becomes like the currency of exchange, it's even worse because so many people are starting with none of it, and like just a very, very tiny few are starting with all of it. And when you start a game like that, it just won't end well. And that's what I'm saying. And if we get to that point, and that would probably be even worse than the current system we have now of central banks controlling money. So I don't know, guys. I see it as a dark future, and I do think Bitcoin is going to swallow up huge amounts of resources. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop it until we wake up and we realize it's a waste of our time and our energy, and we need, as I said, we need to decouple ourselves from money itself and create a world where everything is freely exchanged, but consensually freely exchanged. And I'm not talking about barter, because barter is hyper, let's say, has an incredible amount of friction. I'm talking about everything freely exchanged between peoples and groups. So, and I think it's just an evolutionary thing. It'll be very hard for us to get to that point because we don't trust each other. But once we start trusting each other, I think we'll be more willing to freely exchange everything. Anyway, yeah, so I guess going back to the theme of this video, the Bitcoin whales crushing everything, that I don't think they'll crush the entire world. I think the world will always survive. It's evolution, So organisms and economic systems figure out ways to survive. But I do think that it's going to be the Bitcoin whales are going to be extremely detrimental to the world, and they are going to suck out a lot of resources from a lot of people. They're going to use a lot of resources from the earth and expend them, and they're going to use a ton of electricity and just waste it where it otherwise could be used, like as I said, to light somebody's home or to move a car, to move a vehicle, to build a building. It's just a waste. All right, cool. So we're coming up about 10 minutes. I know that was a bit of a ramble, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to produce more videos like this on Economatrix's channel here. All right, take care, guys. Bye. Yeah.